Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming back to you to pick up on a conversation and a project that we were going to be doing on the channel, using a scrappy art journal. So I had made one, I think it was maybe May of last year, and I mentioned it in another video. It was just really hard to work with. The spine was really stiff, it was thick, I wasn't able to have the pages open. So I'm trying a little bit of a different play on that, or different take on that, and I'm going to make a soft cover journal using some Amazon packaging. I've got a bunch of papers already prepped that we're going to put in signatures. We're going to have 3 signatures with 6 pages each, and I've already pulled these out and decided on my dimensions, which I'll talk about in a second as soon as I grab my Post-it note. So we'll talk about those in a minute. I've got some supplies here, my scissors, a couple rulers, a tear ruler in case I want to do a little more tearing. I've got some of my thinner wax thread. I don't want the spine, the binding to be too thread to be too thick, because I think that creates a lot of bulk as well. So we've got that, and as well as a needle, my awl. I've got some sponge or some foam over there that I can pull over. And these are the papers. I thought we would pick from these and just do kind of a scrappy cover, or I might just fold these in half and then see how far I can get with them, and then just do a continuous thing on it. But I also thought I could do maybe this spine area with this paper, and then do the top, front, and back with this paper. This is my own mixed media paper. I just made photocopies of those papers. Oh my goodness, talking is hard again today. Talking is hard sometimes. So there we go. I'm just going to set those over there. So I think we're going to start with the cover, but before we do, let's talk about the dimensions. So what I decided was the widest page in this journal will be 5.5 inches for the page size, and the tallest will be 7.5. So there will be no pages taller than that, but they are all different sizes within that, as you'll be able to see when we get to that point. Now the spine piece, for the packaging, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to give you a whole measurement. Let's see how my math is today. But I just took some of the packaging. I think it's got the white stuff in the inside, but no worries, it didn't open up or anything, so I don't have to worry about that. So it is 12, let me just get my pencil here. Pardon me. It's 12 inches there, so I'll make a mark there so I can give you a full measurements. So it is about 17.25 inches. So 17.25 inches wide in total. And it is, I believe it is 8.25 inches tall. That's going to leave us plenty of room to kind of grow and move around in there. I don't like my signature pages to be the exact same size as any cover, no matter what kind of cover I'm making. So what I did is I folded this in half. I measured it out first. I cut it down first, but it's basically right here. I'm just gonna fold that there so that it's even. We're a little bit uneven on this bottom. I'm wondering if I can live with that, or if I need to fix that. I think I want to fix that because it's really uneven. This was my original line, so let me see what my measurement was there. It was just under 7.75, which it doesn't leave us very much room at all. So I'm feeling like that's not going to work, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make a line here and just even this out. So I'm just going to do that by hand. I'll just cut with my scissors here. I can get a good line. There we go. Let me fix that. Part of the problem is I think it's moving, so let me grab a paper clip and secure that so it doesn't shift on me, because I've cut it several times now. Okay. So I really have not done this kind of art journaling, so this is going to be a journey for all of us in terms of working in a scrappy journal. I work in art journals with mixed media paper. art journals with watercolor paper, but I've not really done this. So I'm looking forward to stretching myself and learning something new. So there we go. So that feels a lot better, and it's still a really good measurement. So that's basically going to leave us with, I believe, a 3-inch, just under a 3-inch spine. So, so let's just pretend that we had 1.5 inches on each side of each side of this fold to account for it. We don't think we really need 1.5 inches. How about we say, I almost think 2 inches would be okay. So let's do that. It's going to be a soft cover, so that my hope is that I won't feel too, it won't feel so tricky for me, because yeah, sometimes things are tricky for me, especially if they're new. So I'm just going to make a mark there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so that's going to be my measurement for my my spine. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line and see if I can do it sort of straight. Not everything is probably going to be straight, but I just want to have a guide here for where my cover or where my spine is. So there we go. All right. Okay, so that's the spine markings. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm feeling like I want to cut one piece of paper to go here, and I will have it wrap around. I'll have all sides wrap around. And this is, again, something I haven't really done, so we're going to do it together. Pardon the sirens out there. Boy, oh boy, that's an ambulance going up the road, up into the hills. So I think I want to, as I mentioned, I think I want to use, oh, it's not tall enough. Oh yeah, it is just tall enough. Look at that. Just tall enough. So I'm going to grab my cutter here. Did not come completely prepared to the table. I'm going to go ahead and just pop it over here off camera. As I've mentioned before, it's too big to come in to screen. So bear with me a second. I'm going to just, well, let's go ahead and start with making a mark. So I need it to, I think I want this blue part though. I need it to overlap this part a little bit because we don't want there to be a break in it. So I'm going to go here and give about, that's probably about 1/2 inch on either side of that. So I'm going to trim that down, and then we'll do our next cut. Okay. So hopefully this video is not going to get too long. I'm not sure. But I figure we could do some other playful work on the cover if we wanted to later on down the road. So I know that I don't have to have all of that hanging over. So I'm going to cut, let's see, pardon me for turning this. I want it to be a reasonable amount. So what would that be? What would that be? Let's just say, that's about 5/8 inch. So let's just follow that logic here and go 5/8 inch. Yeah, that's not exactly going to be the same measurement, but doesn't have to be perfect. So let me just cut that off, and then we will get this glued on and go on from there. Learning as I go, taking a risk, you guys, don't you know? That to me is what, you know, showing up and being in the arena means, is that we're willing to risk. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. So that's going to again be my guide. So I think I want to make a mark on the sides of this too, so that since I've extended that, so I know where to line this paper back up, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this. And I think I'm just going to put my glue directly on here. So I'm just using my Fabri-Tac. And we want to keep it kind of, I don't want to see any of that white on the front, so that's what I'm aiming for there. I'm going to go ahead and smooth that out. Okay. We're going to kind of piece this together because, again, I've never done this before, so we are going to do it together. So I'm going to turn this over. I didn't think about the inside. We're going to have to use some of the other pages that I printed for the inside. That's silly. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna get my bone folder and make sure I can get some good creases here. This is gonna be imperfect because it is a true junk journal cover. Junk journal. Okay, there we go. I like that other one better. This came with something. I don't know what. I think it came with my bookbinding kit or something, and I like it a lot better than the standard one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this. The inside parts will be easy because we can do it like a regular journal and not have it go all the way and wrap around the top. So that'll be fine. Okay. There we go. So that is our main piece, or our spine piece. Okay, so let me grab the other papers, and I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? These won't have to be wrapped. I mean, they won't have to be. I was thinking I would have to turn it the other way because it's not, you know, it's not very wide, but it's going to be fine. So I'm actually going to just trim this off. And trim off all the white space and off both pieces, and I'll be right back. Okay, that was fast. These are going to go beautifully together too, which was kind of my thought. So now we need to remake a mark because we only want this, we want this paper to overlap because this was only supposed to be 2 inches. So I'm going to just estimate there and go right there and make a mark. I'm going to go up here though. And so that's, I'm just looking here and here to kind of get a general idea here. Again, it's a junk journal cover, so junk journal art cover. An art junk journal cover. Okay, so we're just gonna butt that right up there, like so. Now I do need to take some off the top and bottom, so I'm just kind of looking at this and seeing what do I want to sacrifice. I'd rather sacrifice about right there, so I'm gonna make a mark about here. Hoping you guys can see this okay. Let me just zoom in a minute. The zoom is amazing. Okay, there we go. So this will be my 3rd video on the new software. So you guys will have seen a video or 2 that were recorded prior to my my changing the software, so, or updating and getting the new software. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off, and I'm going to do the same with the other one. Once I get this one cut, I'm just gonna use it as a template. So okay, we are ready to move on. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put this down here, and again we're going to overlap it a little bit, but let me look on the other side and make sure. Yeah, if we overlap it there, we're going to have still plenty of room to wrap it around. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue over this entire surface. Again, hoping that my Fabri-Tac will behave and work for me. Sometimes if I just get a bunch of it out, it'll start flowing a little bit better. I could be using a completely different kind of glue because I was thinking about stitching, but now I'm gonna have to wait for this to dry before I could do any stitching. So we'll see about that. I should have thought that through. There we go. That should be good. That hurts my hands. Oh my. Okay, so we're gonna pop this on here. I'm using this pencil line as my guide. And I'm just trying to, you know, kind of I spy that it's the same, about the same amount on top and bottom, so for the wrapping around. So I'm just going to give this a good press. And get a paper towel here. Get some ooze and glue here. Okay, hopefully that's going to be enough. already glued down, Cara-Renee. Okay, so we're buttoning that up to that line, and again, I spying top to bottom, just to try to get it about the same distance. And I'm just gonna pop this ruler in there and see if we have our 2 inches. Perfect. We're straight too, that's awesome. Okay, just gonna rub that out. Sorry, that keeps sliding off camera. We went a little narrow there, so I'm going to pull this out just a bit. Okay, so that we get that gap that's about 2 inches all the way down. Now that looks a lot better. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we don't want it to be too off. Okay, let's turn this over and give it a good rub from this side. I don't usually do paper corners. I don't usually cover the journals with paper at all, so this is going to be new. We'll learn together here. Okay. Just making sure that I'm making sure that all that glue has had the opportunity to spread. Okay. Okay, feel good about that. So this is the true test because I don't do this. So let's see. I think that we can just fold this corner in, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna fold that in like that. Give it a good crease. Come on. Okay, really crease that well. This is about 49-pound paper, so it's not the lightest, but it's not super thin either. I do not like working with thin paper at all, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this corner. And I'm just trying to get a 90-degree angle, and I'm trying to get it right up to that point of that corner as best I can. Just really burnishing that well. And I think I'm going to get I'm going to see if I can get my art glitter glue this time, because that Fabri-Tac is killing my hands, and I do have a big bottle with the big spout for art glitter glue. So I think I'm going to try that. Let me see if it's flowing here today. Yeah, it's flowing. So this might be a better choice for gluing this. Maybe a little bit of Fabri-Tac and a little bit of art glitter glue. So I'm going to continue on, and then we're going to fold these edges in, and glue. And so I'm going to speed this part up, guys, because you'll be able to ascertain what I'm doing by watching. I may do more with paper. This is actually a lot easier than fabric. I am actually loving this. So, noted. Okay. As you can see, I'm kind of using my ruler and grabbing this up and just using that line where the brown paper ends, and just using my fingernail here. You could also use your bone folder and just get that crease started, and then we can fold it over the rest of the way and burnish it. There we go. Okay, looking good. This is a problem though. I didn't think about that's going to be white. I may have to do some paper piecing there, but I'm not too worried. It's just a junky art journal, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm very in the zone, so I apologize. I lost track of my view here. I've never done this before in this way, so I am learning on the fly. Just using a paper towel to press that down, and I figured I can cover this up because I'm going to have to put a piece of paper here in the center. So, but I'll probably make it wider because I want to have a lot of flexibility in that spine area to make this easier to manage. So I'm going to go ahead and continue in this same fashion, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, this is the last one. I did switch to my art glitter, no, my Fabri-Tac, goodness gracious, because that art glitter glue just is not reliable. It's never reliable for me. I do not like it at all. Okay, so let's get this last piece pushed down and glued in place. This might be a little bit of a long video. I will try to cut out as much as I can, but I do want to do the whole process in one video. I'm loving this already. Look at the flexibility of that. Bonus. Okay. So let's give that a second to set. Don't be impatient, Cara-Renee. Don't be impatient. Okay. And if I had used a glue stick or something, I could already be sewing this, but I did not. So we may not sew the edges. I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and work on the inside. So we can just pull over the rest of these pages and continue on. So we've got another piece of this, which is wide. So that's would be good. I will use this wide, and I am going to just trim it to the height of this journal. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors and even up this bottom edge first. Okay, I don't care about that little white bit. And let's see, I want it to get right down there though, right there. And I'm going to turn this so that I can get a measurement on that other edge. Where's my pencil again? It keeps running away from me. Where are you? There we go. So this is not a desirable like the way that I did this, but I do want to cover that white bit of the other paper. So I'm going to just turn to my trimmer and trim that with the cutter. There we go. Let's go ahead and put this on. Beautiful. I love this paper so much. Oh, we're a little bit, how did we get too long? How did we get too long? We'll trim that off, no worries. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on the back of this instead of on this, because I can see, you know, I have my boundary obviously here. So and then when that's all nice and dry, we'll be able to kind of start flexing this and getting it moving. So let's go ahead and cut our other two pieces. Now this is going to look really weird though, because now that's coming up. Okay, well, Cara-Renee, remember that it is a junk journal, or it's a art journal, junk journal style. So reminding myself of that. So let me get those other pages. This is the other page. Oh, I don't have enough. Let's see, how many did I print? We'll have to pull in a different print, that's okay. So, because I don't think that, oh, you know what, we could do it that way and turn it. So, let me go ahead and trim this off first, because I think that will help us know where we're landing. There we go. Okay, do we have enough to do both though? I don't think so. So if I put this here, about there, that's going to end here. It's not going to be wide enough, so I'll have to pull a different piece of paper in, which if I'm going to do that, I may as well go the other direction. So I do not want it to overlap this by much other than just to hide the seam. So I'm going to do this. There's probably a much better way to do this, but you know, I'm just playing. Just a moment. Okay. And then we're going to, that just looks so strange. I'm so bummed about that, but it's okay. Maybe we'll just come down a little bit. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just go ahead and trim the bottom off as well. There's that. So now we need one more piece to go here. I wish I had one more of those papers, but I know that I don't have any on this, this weight of paper. So let me show you. Well, will we do this one? Will we do this one? Yeah, I think I'd like to use that one. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it down to be this size and I'll be right back. Okay, easy peasy. I just love the very, very, you know, artistic way that this is going to look. It's going to be really cool. Although now I've got that edge that's going to be white. Ugh, okay, it's okay. Cara-Renee, it's okay. Did we go over too much? Too much? You know we did. Why is that a different? Because I didn't trim that. Yes, I did. Okay, we're just going to roll with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these both on and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the last piece. I did need to refill my Fabri-Tac. I'm hoping that that will help it to flow a little bit better. So I'm just not too concerned about that being uneven. It's okay. It's just a scrappy bit. I'm going to try to press this out. I know there's a lot of glue under there. My fingers are so sticky, I'm not even really caring at the moment. I could have totally done this different, but it's okay. We're going to have fun in this journal. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be so flexible. Oh, look at the front. That's really pretty. I love that. I love that a lot. That's very cool. Okay, so let's just kind of massage this a little bit and see if we can get some movement. Got a lot of sticky bits here, so let me rub off that glue. It's all balling up everywhere. Oh, mess. She's a mess. She's a mess. I can get my glue eraser and take care of that in a little bit. So actually let me kind of fold this in half-ish. So I'm just going to gently start to manipulate this spine area. Not all of it's the spine, but I'm just want to get that to be right there so I can kind of get a sense of where I'm at. So I'm just going to hold that about there. Okay, so I know where my start is. I'm going to grab my pencil just to check, is that my spine? Is that my spine? So I can't tell now. Can't tell. I need to be able to tell though. So what was I think I threw away the paper. It was written on one of the backs of these papers. So let's just do a quick mark here. I can erase that. 12 inches by 12 and 7 1/4. 12 and 7 1/4 is 19 1/4 inches. We're going to just bend this and just give it a good crease here. So it's all right. Don't worry. Don't you worry. At least get it to this point. Again, I've never done this before. Got some bits that are not wanting to fold there. I'm not sure why. That's okay. We're gonna work with it. There we go. So now we are in the middle. That looks so cool. Okay, let me just give that a crease, at least where I can. I've got some trouble happening there, but that's okay. There we go. There we go. She's behaving now. Okay. I've only ever done, I think, one soft cover journal ever, so this is also not in my wheelhouse at all. So, well, it looks like it's just the actual spine is, boy, there's a lot of glue on there, is just that area. So it's just that part that but that's the outside. So we need to be able to see it on the inside. So let me make a pencil line where that is so that way I can see it when I open it back up. Okay. I probably just didn't get enough glue there, so it's trying to buckle on itself. So I'm gonna grab that glue eraser here just a second. It's driving me crazy. You do not want to see me crazy. This is called a I think it might be called a glue eraser. I don't know. Now, where did it all go? I just feel I keep touching it and it's distracting me, so I'll try to rub it out if I can. There we go, that's better. Okay, so now we know that we need to go 1 inch on either side of this line-ish. So I'm going to make a line there, and I'm going to make a line here. So that's our actual spine. Hopefully this is all going to work out. I don't know. The jury is out. It's out for the weekend. The jury is out for the weekend. It is Saturday. I went to my granddaughter's softball game this morning. It was beautiful out, almost hot. And then all of a sudden it started clouding up and it's gonna rain tonight and whatnot. So it's like, oh, there's the Northwest weather for you. So I'm just trying to get a general idea here. We got off there. That's not a straight line. So let me see if I can tick mark this and get that straighter. Get that straighter. Let me put that line there. Straighten this out a little bit. Sorry, off camera. Okay, so I think now we can go ahead and straighten that out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I need a guide for marking out my signature lines. So I'm gonna grab my regular eraser and just get rid of the extraneous lines here. Okay, so there we go. That feels a lot better. Okay. So, okay, I did decide to go ahead and just come back and continue. I just needed to collect my thoughts a little bit. I did want this to all be in one video, so I'm so sorry for all of that waffling. It's a lot. So we've got our lines, so I feel pretty good about moving on. But what I was trying to get to here is I really want to kind of roll this spine. So I'm going to use my ruler and kind of see if I can get this to loosen up a little bit by just creasing it in all of these places. Still got that buckling area there, which means I didn't get enough glue in that area, which is problematic here at this point because it's not wanting to fold. There we go. There we go. Okay. We just want to create some flexibility in the spine before we start sewing signatures in. So I'm doing that same effect that I did with the paper and folding it over and just using my hand. So that's good. I feel like that's really good. I still have so much glue on here. I can feel it. It's rough. But we might capitalize on that and ink it or do something cool with it. So that is that for the journal. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the signatures over, the signature pages, and we're going to start marrying these up to decide what we want wear. So I do know that I want a large one on the cover of the front page of each of these. So let's see, what's my next biggest? These look similar size. This one's not quite as wide. Not that it really matters, but I'm just aiming for something kind of biggish. That's pretty big. And let's see if we've got one more. Not quite as big. That one's pretty big. Not quite as big either. I should have created 3 that were about the same size. I want them to be sort of a similar height is what I'm looking for here. So let's just get those out of the way. These are our 3 signatures. So, and those are our covers as well. So I want to talk about a little bit about the paper just as I go along. This is, I had mentioned on a video that Marisa from Sweet Pea Curiosities came to my house and she brought me a bunch of her digital printouts that are just all her test prints and stuff. So this is one of them. Isn't this beautiful? So beautiful. So I thought we would introduce it in here, but on the back, it's got this completely different image. So I thought we would use that. So I'm just going to stick that in there, and I'm going to just kind of start sorting these here and trying to get them even-ish in terms of top to bottom, if I can. So, which I know I can. That one is, I think I'm going to switch those two. Doesn't matter what goes where, so I'm actually thinking about this too much already, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. This page feels too fragile. I'm going to replace that with something else. So I'll do that in a quick second. So I'm just sticking the rest of these in here. Okay, like so. Again, not overthinking it. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's only 5. So I'm going to grab one more piece of something here. So just a note on this. This is not really a scrap. It's in my full page. It's like pieces that get separated from other things. And so any of these that have a white background, when we start working in it, we'll make sure that we bring in something to cover those up. But we'll be doing some collaging and stuff in this journal anyway. So let me grab my tear ruler and tear this down a bit. Awesome. Now we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. So I'm actually thinking about switching this. Oh, why is this one so tall now? I want them to be a similar height, so that's pretty good. A little bit off, but I don't want them to be, you know, like grossly different. So this one is very, very tall. So, well, not really. It's about the same. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and line each of these up and use some paper clips to secure the signatures. Okay, so what I'm looking for is I need to find the smallest page and make sure that it is it's in the center, so everything will be captured in the stitching. So our signature strings, or our holes, will be sort of close together in this project versus in another. So that looks about right. We're not going to even be able to clip this. Look at how different the sizes are. This is what's hard for me. This is really hard for me. This is really hard. Okay, so let's even that up. Okay, so we probably need to create a template for the spine because otherwise, or for the holes, because otherwise this is going to go This is going to go awry very, very quickly. So let me grab a scrap and I'll show you how you can do that in a pinch. So actually, I could probably just use this scrap. So I'm going to put this on here. It's the exact same height as my tallest page in the signature. So I'm going to go ahead and make a mark here, and we're going to use this as a guide for our other one. So one hole, and I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to put another hole here, and this is just the template, and then aim for the middle like that. Okay, so now we can use that as our guide and make a mark on the signature itself, the fold-ish. Okay, like so. Okay, so that is ready to go. Ish. I keep saying ish, don't I? Those holes are off, so I'll make sure that I'm poking actually on the fold rather than the mark that I just made. Having trouble digging for big paper clips. I need to go grab some out of my other drawer. Okay, so that's the first signature, or one signature. We're going to do the same on these two. Okay, because I'm running out of paper clips, I'm going to have to start poking holes so that I can reuse those paper clips. So pardon me, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our foam over here, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and get my awl, and I'm going to hold this at an angle so you're not going to really be able to see. And I'm going to poke in the actual fold, not where I made my pencil mark on that, and then the same here. Just be careful not to poke yourself. It's been known to happen. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so that's our first. We got to get this back over here because we got to do the holes in the spine as well. Look at how big that cover is. Goodness gracious, that's okay. Actually, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to have to make sure that I get these lined up with the, in each one that I do, this fold needs to be on the center line of my spine. So I'm just going to poke a hole right here. It may be wonky. It may be crooked. I don't care. At this point, I don't care. There we go. Okay, so that's our first one. So I think we're going to go ahead and start stitching as we go here. This is going to be tricky because I don't have a way to clip this because all the pages are different size. So I haven't really encountered that before. So I am struggling. And our cover is actually a little bit too big for the pages, but that's okay. And you know what? If this is just a complete failure, then we will have learned something, right? But we will use it anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew the signature in. I'm just gonna show you one, and then I'll do the other three. I'll speed it up because if you've seen one, you probably can figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and go in here. Oh, yep, and into the middle hole. Like, it doesn't matter where I put this, so, and I'm just going to turn that over. Okay, and I'm going to go in down the bottom hole, turn it again, find my hole in the signature. Boom. I'm going to go up to the top hole and into that hole in the spine, and boom. Okay, and then we're going to go back in to the center hole. Our holes are really big for the size of thread that I'm using. This is crazy. So, and I'm sorry this is hard to see. There we go. Make sure we got everything going the right way. Does it matter? Yes, there we go. Should be good. If it doesn't, if it's not a problem, because again, we're going to be doing a lot of collaging on these pages, so it's not going to really, there's a lot that's not going to matter. Okay. So I'm just going to pull that tight. Okay. Way too much thread here. I didn't measure that correctly. Doing a double knot. Going to do the box knot, backwards knot. Like so. And I'm going to leave the strings just because I'm not sure what I want to do. Okay, so that is our first signature in. I'm just going to pull those paper clips off because again, I need those. Okay, so there's our first signature in the spine. It's going to be fun. Look at how big that is. Oh my gosh, what did you do, Cara-Renee? That's the middle. This is so big. Oh my gosh. I am so embarrassed. I am actually embarrassed. I am actually embarrassed. Okay, I want this one to be the last signature. So, oh my word, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, because now I need to line these holes up. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's turn this inside out. There's more than, I'm not going to use that analogy. There's more than one way to get something done. So we're just going to improvise here. Okay. I'm going to just turn that and I'm going to line that up so that I can line those holes up. This is scrappy. This is scrappy business as opposed to crappy business. We're just playing, guys. We're just playing. I really needed to let loose of some preconceived ideas about what this needed to look like because it's a very different process for me. So I'm just evaluating if it matters which direction. I think I want it to go this direction. So let me see. There's nothing really that's, that's directional there. So now I can go ahead and put this down and poke my holes in my signature itself. So I'm just going to watch my finger. And again, watch my finger. And one more. I got some tough paper in there. One of them is actually a cover of, I believe, a Stamperia pad, so that's why it's struggling a bit. So let me grab some more thread here, and probably not so much. I'm going to go ahead and sew this one in. Okay, that is the second signature. Let's see what she looks like. So I think, look at how off that is. This one's higher. That's okay though. It's a scrappy art journal, so it's going to be really fun. Look at that. So see how much extra we have here. So that was a huge mistake, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do to resolve that. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but that's not really going to work. So I'm either going to have to cut it off, or we're going to just do some fancy schmancy stuff and make some extensions on these pages. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out together as we go along. So let me do the last signature. That is so crooked. Oh my goodness. So crooked. That's not even tight. What happened? I may have to bind that one again. It is moving a lot. It should not move like that. So something's loose. So I'll fix that one later, but let's do the last one here. You know, as I say, I don't come to the table to perform, to make perfect things. You know, I come to the table to be creative, and sometimes that goes well and sometimes it doesn't. And this is one of those times where it's like, holy Toledo, this is not what I had in mind. And these pages are all much smaller, so are they actually going to fit in there? Let's paper clip this and see where we land. If you want to see somebody do this beautifully and with a lot more grace than me, check out Shinoki Art. That's where I watched the very first one that I saw, you know, kind of scrappy type of art journal. So check her out because she will probably straighten all this out for you. So I'm going to go ahead and poke my holes. We're going to just be happy. We're going to be happy. My pencil marks are off of my actual fold, so I'm just adjusting that. Okay, let's get this one more in. I don't know why my cover is so big. It's so crazy. You guys may never see this video. You may never see it. When I go to edit it, if it's just like horrendous, I might not do it. I might just tell you what I did and create the first page with you guys. We'll see. Okay, so we are ready to rock and roll with the last signature. So going in through the inside of the signature into the middle hole of the spine. And then I'm going to flip that over and try to lay that out a little bit. And I'm going to go in the top hole or bottom hole. It doesn't matter which direction you go. Let's stick that in there. And find my... You left it on the table, Cara-Renee. There we go. This one's a little harder to see because the paper is black. I can't see my hole. There we go. Back over. Down to the opposite hole on the top or bottom, whichever way you didn't start. Into that hole. In real life and in junk journals, journal making, I don't do this kind of work. This is something else. This is something else. But that's okay. This time we're going to be careful with that, tightening those strings because I don't know what happened on that other one. I'm having a hard time seeing again. Let's just get that down in there. Cannot even see. Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm going to pull the needle all the way through because I cannot see that to save my life. Okay, let's try that again. It's because it's not on the seam of that paper. There we go. Boom. Okay, so let's see what happened, why that was so loose. And I'll rebind that last one that we did, but I'm going to turn this over. This is what you should always do, is kind of strum your string to make sure it's tight. I can feel that the one down there is not as tight. I'm not too worried about it, so I'll be evaluating that one that kind of went sideways. So just making sure that everything feels tight, like so. I'll take off the paper clips. I really don't want to cut this cover down, so I think we're going to just love the imperfection and work with it. So there we go. I just really needed this effect. So in my one I was talking about, I couldn't get anything to lay flat. So now wherever we're at in the journal, we'll lay somewhat flat. Now this one, is this the one that's way loosey-goosey? Can't remember. Yeah, this is the one that's really loose. So we'll have to fix that. Oh, this one is too. Is that the one I just did? Look at that. It's terrible. Okay, I will fix that. And so basically, is all you have to do is cut these signature strings and then just do it again. You can't really use the same string because you've knotted it, but I think we're gonna have fun with this. I think we're gonna just have a play, see what we think, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I may cover this with more paper, I'm not sure. I don't like it, but when this folds, we've got this flexible spine, which is gonna allow us a lot of movement, but as you can see, we've got a good 2 inches, more than 2 inches that's unused space in there. So I'm not sure, again, what we'll do with it. We might make some kind of flip outs and have some play here and do some flip outs and just make this even more beautifully scrappy than it already is. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. And again, if the video is terrible and it's just irretrievably broken, I won't be posting it, but I'm hoping that I can splice everything back together and make it make sense for you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.